The next step here is to go with this. I said the first is to build a layout, and then to build the UI or the layout for the list view item, and after that we need to create the model classes, the classes that we need in order to manipulate the data, in order to manipulate the object. So from Java class, right click, new, create a package called model, then right click, new, create the Java class called player. So here the class player must have the following information. The class player, if you see here in the one item, we have the picture, we have the name, we have the team name, and we have image more. Okay, but if you see the file, we have the name, we have the team name, we have the year of birth, and the picture name. So to create the class, don't go to see what is inside the one item, probably will not represent everything, but go to see what is inside the file. The file contains everything, contains the name of the player, the corresponding team, the year of birth, and the corresponding picture. So from player class, create this information. Private string full name, private string team name, private int year of birth, and private string photo. Okay, and create them in the same order: player name, team name, year of birth, and a photo. After that, add the constructor with all attributes. And again, we don't need to create an empty constructor here. Then generate getters and setters. Then last, override the method toString. Method toString returns the full name. Is it okay? After that, the class is created. We need to create another class for reading data from a file and put the data to the array list of players. Okay? So to create this file, we select model, right click, new Java class. We call the file called file management. File management. This file will contain a method that read the data from the file players.txt and return an array list of players. So we'll have here public static array list player read file. So we need the parameter, the context. Then we need the parameter, the file name, string file name. Then we need to create the array list of players, list of players. And at the end we return this array list. Let's call it list of players. But we need to initialize this array list. I didn't initialize it. On new array list of player. Okay. Then after that, I need to, or we need to do the different steps of reading file and completing the object and completing the array list here. We need to complete all the information. So the first step is to access to the asset folder, because in the asset folder we have the file. Where is the asset folder? We have the file here. So the first step is to access to the assets folder. How to access to the asset folder is by using the method of the class assets folder, assets manager. Assets manager equal context dot get resources dot get assets. Okay, this is the access. After accessing, you need to open a file. Number 2, open a file. By doing here input stream reader, input stream reader, ISR equal new input stream reader. Then inside we have access manager dot open the file name. And always when we open a file name, we are supposed to manage an exception. We need to here surround between a try and catch exception. Okay, so between try we continue reading the file, doing the different other steps, and whenever we have an exception, whenever we have an error, what we should do here, we should display it in the logcat. So here set log.d error, comma e.getMessage. So any error in opening the file, go to this exception. Okay, so let's put here open the file here. Now it's not before try and catch. Then number 3 is to open the folder, to read the buffer, read the content of the buffer, read the buffer by using here the class called buffered reader. Buffered reader br equal new buffered reader, and add in the parameter the input stream reader.
And last, the processing. Number 4 is processing data. Process data. To process data, we need to read the lines of the buffer one by one, saying here string one line equal br.readLine. Then the processing is using any loop, for example while loop, while one line not equal to null, do the processing. When we do the processing and at the end we say, you need to say br one line equal br.readLine. Don't forget this, otherwise your code will run infinitely and don't stop. Okay, so this is what the different steps 1 2 3 4, and inside the processing is not finished. Inside the processing we need to extract the different information about the player, because one line contains the name, the team name, the year of birth, and at the end the picture or the photo. Okay, so file management, here I need to build the different variables. String full name equal I need to create first string tokenizer, forget that. You say here string tokenizer st equal new string tokenizer with two parameters. The first one is one line, and the second parameter is the delimiter. Don't forget to use the delimiter. Okay, the delimiter in our situation is comma. Okay, then take from this from this string tokenizer the different tokens. The first token is the full name, so I say here string full name equal st dot next token. This is the first one. String, the second is team name equal st dot next token. And the third is the year. The year is int, year of birth, age of birth, or year of birth, equal integer dot value of st dot next token. But year of birth is the line where we have some errors. Here error, and here the error, and we need to ignore them. So for that I need to put this between try and catch exception. Try catch exception, then add another log.d. We send a message to the logcat. So if the year is correct, we continue, otherwise we display the message and we ignore this line, we ignore this row. After reading the year, we need to read the picture. So string photo equal st dot next token. After doing that, I need to add the object, add the player to the list view, to the array list. So list of players that add, I'm going to add it here implicitly. New player and inside this we have team name, full name, player name, team name, year of birth, and the photo. I'll do the array list. After finishing this, we go to see another line and we do a loop. We do a loop of this processing, this here, to until we finish the loop. Okay, this and delete this. Go to do another time string tokenizer, then extract the full name, extract team name, check the year. If the year is correct, continue with the photo, build the object and add it to array list. If the year is not correct, ignore the line and display the error, and that's it. Okay, this number 4, process data, and 5, close the file, close everything. Number 5 is to close the buffer and the stream. We say br dot close, then then input stream reader dot close. That's it. Excellent. So that's it for if you want for the file or the class file management. So file management, how to read data, and in case we have any problem, any error, how to manage this, the error. If you don't put this, the try and catch, your program will crash, your application will crash, and it's not easy to detect the error. It's not easy to continue and find what is the error. The next step is here. The next step is I finish with the player file management. The next step is the adapter. Okay. The next step is the adapter. If you remember in the previous class, we built an adapter, array adapter. The array adapter works only for list view that has a text view. But this list view that we are going in processing of building it will contain different kind of widgets. Because we contain different kind of widgets, we have another kind of adapter. Okay, so we need to create a special class called player adapter. So from model, right click new Java class, and we put here player adapter. Class called player adapter because we are working with player. If we have, for example, class of teachers, say teacher adapter. If we have class of person, call it person adapter. You have a class of I don't know, student, just call it student adapter, and so on. So player adapter, click to create this class. Okay, this is like a simple class, but we need that this class play the role as an adapter. Okay, for that we need to say here extend a special class called base adapter. Base adapter. Why I put this special class called base adapter? Because the reason why, because my list view will contain, or my item, each item for the list view contain a variety of widgets, different types of widgets. Okay, don't forget this. My list view item will contain different photo and text and another and image. Okay, that's why we use the class base adapter. What do I need in this class? In this class I need to define some private attributes like any class. The first private attribute is the context, because we need to pass the context to any adapter. So private context, the context. Okay, so we have here the context. Then to work with adapter, the base adapter, we need to pass in, you need to pass in the array list. The array list that has the data that we gonna use, we gonna show in the list view. So private array list player, we call it here list of players. And last we have a player, the player object. This is the attribute that we have. And as you know, in any class like player, we should have the constructor. So go code and say here generate constructor. And in this situation, our situation, we need to have constructor for the context and the array list. That's it. Player just an object, we need it in our application. Clear? You see here we still have the underline, a red underline, because base adapter, if you want, is class, an abstract class. And the player adapter that extend the base adapter, this class must implement the different methods of the base adapter. So we say implement methods. We say here we have 4 methods: get count, get item ID, and get view. We will define them right away. We have different methods, right? What get count does, get count give us the total number of elements in the list view. We should have this total number of elements. If it's 0, we are not going to see any element. Okay, by default is 0, but in the reality is not 0. The reality is total number of element in the array list. That's why we need to put list of players dot size. List of player dot size is the total number of element of the list view. If you want to see, for example, just 4 numbers, 4 elements, put return 4. Okay, but in our situation, we need to see all element in the list view. Clear? The second is get item. Get item, it means for each item in the list view, which item we need to get. We need to get here is the item in the array list. List of players dot get I. Okay. The third is get item ID. Which item ID is which position. Here is the I position. The same position in the item or same position in the array list.